Right. This is where you start to see the cracks in the storytelling. No, seriously. Like the second film, Empire is so great, and you've got all these rich characters, and even in between the first and second film, for instance, they outside of the realm of the movies, they set up this great mystique to Boba Fett. And so Boba Fett is this menacing, faceless figure that you get in Empire Strikes Back, and in Return of the Jedi, he goes out like a bitch. Like oh my God.
Right into that Starlight pit.
Like, totally, yeah.
Like,
I'd watch it twice. Like, what? That was
He has a jetpack.
Right.
How does he not get out of that thing?
He gets killed by accident? Come on, right? Like you end up with some interesting moments.
That's what he gets for debuting in the holiday special.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that when you first saw Boba Fett in the holiday
Yes.
special? No.
That point, I think I made it in Empire. I don't know, but that there's a grandness lacking. That like there's that moment where they're pulling some clever ruse, and they're like, oh wait, some guy comes up and it's like, we've got them. We just need some backups to seal the deal and crush the rebels. And they're like, great, open the back door. Weird line all by itself. And they open the back door to what? I'm not entirely sure.
There is no back in space.
Right, and they're on the ground, and they're going to send 2 garrisons as the back, and literally 25 guys come out, and then Han jumps down and he's like, and gotcha, and it's just like so many things seemed, particularly in this one, but I had it with all 3, made these what were supposed to be grand things seem small, despite whether you love them or don't care about them. Like, they matter so much. They are so critically important. And George Lucas's genius in getting that. Whatever the things that I can't believe he got, like, you have to bow your head and be like, but man, you got him.
Right.
You were
Nailed it.
Listen,
you were some kind of genius.
Return of the Jedi is no Godfather 3.
Right.
Well, this needed more Sophia Coppola.
Yeah, so next week we'll go do. Speaking of the lack of genius of Lucas, we're gonna come back next week and we're gonna do episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that's
seriously.
Thanks a lot, Internet.
These will be the ones you like.
I spent $108 and I'm freaking in Atlanta.
What? Oh.
Well, I have the DVDs. You can borrow my DVDs.
I already
No,
spent
but he's got the movie. He's not going to be here to do them.
Oh, you're not going to be here next week. Oh.
Boo.
TCM.
All right, so wait, did we even say what Jedi
when's
is?
the new one out?
79%.
79 on tomato meter for Return of the Jedi.
December 18th.
December 18th.
Right.
Okay, here's what really happens.
Please.
No, I said what really happened. That's the history of the house.
You're very close. You're very close for somebody who didn't see the movie. Did you even see the trailer?
No, but I know the history of the
fine.
house.
All right.
Like, I've read about the house. That's the story of the house.
That's lovely, but we're talking about the movie, not reality.
Tell me what bullshit the movie.
The bullshit movie
out
of the
there.
version of the movie is that yes, she is Sarah Winchester, the heiress to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company fortune.
Check. Got that right.
The reason that she keeps expanding the house is because she is actually being haunted by all the people who were killed by her family's company. And the way to help them into the next world is to recreate the rooms that they died in, which they show her in visions, and she draws plans. I'm not making this up.
And then she seals them off.
And then if they don't leave, then she seals the door of the room with 13 nails, which holds them in until it doesn't, for reasons that are never particularly explained. And then Jason Clarke is an opium addicted psychiatrist who.
But what does he play in this movie?
The cumulative effect, even though it's only like an hour and a half long, it just feels like a long, warm nap.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what a horror movie means to do, is to lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
And then there are jump scares. And
because it's PG-13. That's all they got.
Yeah, it's PG-13. There are jump scares, and then when you see what actually is the thing that's happening, it's like, oh, that's it. It's a guy walking around a corner, and not in a funny, self-referential way. It's just like,
boo. Yeah, and look, I was nodding off in this movie, and I just watched a 5.5-hour Japanese movie, and I was totally awake for the whole thing. And this thing, I was like.
Helen Mirren's actually kind of barely in this.
And
she's on the posters and she's the star of it, but she's sort of a supporting character.
And when she is in the movie, she's kind of sleepwalking through the whole thing. It's a lot of like.
And literally, sometimes she is, because she's in a trance and taking down notes. So it's like, put a cabinet here, and put a windowsill here, and
put a window where a window ought to be. Thank you.
Talking about Magic Mike, and some of us might strip after this. So stay tuned for a web extra.
Someone's been to the gym. And some of us have not, like me. I'm Christy, this is Ben. Somewhere over here. There's Ben, Miss Alonso. And lovely Grae Drake is back. Because she's so pumped to talk about Channing Tatum's abs.
And we read the comments. The comments want more Grae.
And they want less flip-flops.
So what shoes are you wearing? Can we talk about your shoes for a second?
We can. See, I've just some normal wedges. Everyone calm down. You can't see my toes. I understand.
I have
it's
sassy
fine.
boots.
Yeah, you got some nice boots.
That's why I'm in this chair today for you foot fetishists out there.
So, Magic Mike is loosely based on the life story of Channing Tatum, who before he was a super mega movie star was an exotic dancer, directed by Steven Soderbergh. Sure, there's plenty of abs and oiled up pecs and thumping beats on stage while guys wearing chaps just swing them at your face. But it's also about this, everybody. They're real people with real brains and real dreams in their real bodies. They're not just there for your amusement. They are genuine living human beings, and you need to listen to what they are saying, or something like that. Whatever.
It's his movie and his story, sort of. What do we think of his performance?
I always liked him. I thought for a long time there was much more to Channing Tatum than meets the eye. Yes, he's very pretty, but he's also an amazing dancer, which he choreographed, I think, his own stuff, right? The scene where he's wearing the hat and the little vest and like nothing else. He choreographed that. I'm a fan. I've always liked him.
Could you imagine how that conversation went? He's like, yo, Steven Soderbergh, I just want to put on a little vest.
and a sideways hat. Just to be extra street.
And then I'm going to pop and lock.
You know, if you're coming in for Joe Manganiello or Matt Bomer, they have almost no dialogue.
Not enough of them at all. But I thought Channing Tatum was great.
Yeah.
I thought he totally held my attention. And as it turns out, I actually enjoy listening to him speak.
His best.
Yeah, so this feels almost like a Wayans Brothers spoof of a YA movie.
If
They should have
this
called it
were-
a YA movie.
Yes, if this were a satire about Hollywood, then this would be the film in the film of the fake YA adaptation that they're making,
Right.
where everyone acts like complete and total idiots.
Oh,
This
yeah.
movie is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'll give them this, though. They have skillfully marketed the film to make you think that it's simply a bullshit alien invasion movie, when in reality, it's a bullshit YA adaptation.
Right.
She even has two boys who are swooning for her.
Right. They're both
While
hunting.
while she carries the gun around. I don't want to give away like the details. If you are unfortunate enough to go see this film this weekend, you want to be surprised, obviously.
But there are surprises in store for you,
and
clearly. There was a moment where we were all sitting in the back row laughing our asses off because one of the hunky paramours gets
decides
dirty.
to bathe. He's so I'm so dirty. I have to shower, bathe in the river. You know.
Well, the best is the way they shoot it,
yeah.
because she's like peeking at him around a tree.
Oh,
and
it is-
At first,
it's
it's from the back.
prurient, yeah.
It's from the back. Okay, it's from the back at first, and then he turns around and I was like, "Holy shit, he's
covered.
caught!"
It's like it's back in the early '80s. Only young women were subjected to this in film. Like, I'm looking through the hole in Porky's and I'm seeing all the girls take a shower. Now it's like
Equal
these
opportunity.
strapping young men with these glistening wet chests.
Right,
and they're-
he's like massaging the water on his pecs. It was amazing, and I don't think they meant it to be
and
funny.
a lot of people in the theater were laughing.
I'm not sure they
Yeah.
meant it to be funny.
I don't
though,
think
is the
any of this
thing.
was meant to be funny. And all of it is.
We laughed a lot. So it plays like an extreme sports version of James Bond. I mean,
Well,
like
yeah, which
you
is what
literally.
that's what those movies. That's what the first one is, right? Like the first one wants to be this extreme sports version of James Bond. This one goes so much farther past that. Like it's this movie is almost the XXX version of XXX. Like it's
It's like a parody of itself,
right,
though, but in
I mean,
awesome ways.
This
it knows
movie,
it.
look, this movie is really stupid. Stupid with two O's. Stupid, right? It absolutely is. It
It's
absolutely
very
is.
silly.
It's very silly. It moves so fast you almost can't follow what's going on. You know what? That's kind of okay.
That's okay,
Like,
yes.
There's not a
because
lot going on, really.
There's everything and nothing all at once.
This movie kind of answers the question: can you string a bunch of kind of fun, cool stunt sequences together and have a viable movie? Yeah, you kind of can't.
Sure.
Now, I know Alonso is sitting here stewing.
He's twiddling his thumbs. Look at his
I'm
thumbs. Look at his thumbs.
I'm waiting for my turn.
Because
I'm not
it's,
saying anything.
it's no bad Santa too. but-
Also, we should point out that Alonso did not sit with us last night. We all
Right.
have a good time when we sit together. We sit all on the same side of the theater. Alonso sat by himself.
I sat
on
with
the
Jenna
other side
Busch,
of
who I had not
theater.
seen in months. Meanwhile, this movie is hot garbage, and I can't believe how nice you're being to it.
enthusiastic.
It is shocking that a movie that is aimed at attention deficit 12-year-olds can underestimate the intelligence of its audience, and that's what this movie does. This is how much Vin Diesel is creating this vehicle as look how awesome I am. In the first 15 minutes, he steals cable to bring a soccer game to an impoverished Dominican village, and children everywhere love him and sing his praises, and he tells one that he carries the world in his heart. Yes! Within 10 minutes, he is in England fucking 8 women, despite the fact that he had a girlfriend back in Dominican Republic who we never hear from again. So it's so you are Gamera friend to children and you're the sex machine to all the chicks. Come on!
Why would you question
Give me
him
a
at all?
fucking break
Why
with this oh god, this movie. And then poor Toni Collette, the one actual actor in this movie, spits out every line like she's furious with her agent, and she should be. You've got Tony Jaa, who's this amazing martial arts
given nothing to
performer,
do but dance.
given nothing to do. Edited with such choppy, quick cuts of everything that fucking Betty White could have played that role because he doesn't get to do a complete motion without the editor giving us 4 different shots of it.
Listen, Betty White, I'll have you know, is a black belt in kicking ass.
And a treasure, I grant you.
And let's be honest here, that would be better if Betty White was in there.
Wouldn't it? Now,
I want to see the Betty White action.
Triple W.
There it comes before. There is one
Triple X,
good.
the return of Betty White.
There is one good Donnie Yen action sequence.
That sex scene makes no sense, by the way.
None.
No. They
Why
just-
can't he have sex with 8 women?
No, he can have sex with as many women as he wants, but the setup to it.
Oh,
makes-
why she gives them to her?
Yeah, just here, take all of my production assistants. Just go ahead.
They've just been sitting around their laptops all day. They're not doing anything. It's very silly. Go ahead.
Come back to me.
Okay.
It's really stupid. I give it a 6.
It's really stupid, and I'm giving it an 8. It's exactly what I wanted from this movie.
Alonso hates everything, and he doesn't like that fun. I give it a 2.5. Fuck this movie.
Okay, so that brings our average down to 6.1. And it's where?
It's in the 70s
tomato
on the
land?
tomato meter right now.
Okay.
You are wrong, my friend.
Yes, wait till my review goes on.
So welcome to What the Flick. We are all here to discuss an incredibly trashy, sexy movie.
Did you? Good. That was
Why
good.
is everyone laughing?
Because
What did I
2
miss?
seconds before Matt goes, I'll bring us in, and then they go 3, 2, 1, and you go, welcome.
That's okay.
Welcome to
That's
What
all
the Flick.
I'm here to bring us in.
Christy owns. It's cool.
You want to start?
No,
go ahead.
no.
No. I insist.
No, who's describing?
Alonso's going to
Me.
describe Double Lover.
To be clear, this is not Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye.
No.
Jeremy Renier.
Yeah.
You know,
Hawkeye.
this is one of those
Belgian actor.
Like, this is one of those things that because we're in this business and we'll be like, there's this Belgian actor, Jeremy Renier, and then there's the American actor, Jeremy Renner. And we never stop to think, based on the fact that they're the same age, kind of they're the
look a lot
same
alike.
kind of handsome,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, you think he's pulling a
No. I
switcheroo
just
on us?
mean it's like Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds. Every day we should be like, that's amazing that they're 2 Canadians equally handsome, equally as talented, the same age, named Ryan.
It's like Ben Mankiewicz and Ben Shapiro.
For
Our good friend Justin Chang made that joke. actually.
For years.
Yeah, maybe.
So I was with you guys, all of the references that Hitchcock and Cronenberg, all that stuff, I was totally with, right? I love that I never knew where it was going. And last 6-7 minutes of the movie, I was ready to flip the fucking table.
In a good way? Because it's awesome?
I was like, God damn it. I was so mad at the ending of this movie.
We're not going to spoil.
Right, we're not going to spend it, but I can't, hit me up on Twitter later, ask me why. But there's a thing that this movie does that when a movie does this, it makes me like, what the fuck? It just really angers me.
You know what this movie does?
No, it does not.
It earns it.
No, but here's the thing. So I won't spoil anything, but I had a similar reaction to a thing that happened toward the end where I was like, oh, come on. And and when my wife sort of rolled away, she was like, but I think it got it back. I then think with its final twist, you're like, oh, okay, now I see that thing that initially made me go, come on.
Right.
Made sense and worked.
Let's talk about that later.
Okay.
I do want, and I also mentioned
I'm curious to talk about it.
Jacqueline Bisset.